You're welcome back. It's time for business, and I have Sandra Fenu here with all the details. But Sandra, before you get to business, I mean, what do you make of all this PDS continuing saga? It seems
the
like
blame
it never
game.
ends.
The
Every
blame
day
game. Government is not at fault. Media is not at fault. The insurance companies are also speaking. We don't know who to believe and who to like.
I guess we'll have to wait until
yes,
the end
but
of the fact
for now, let's do business. Good evening. My name is Sandra Esinamap, and I'm here for business. International Fruit Processing Company Blue Skies is seeking the support of Ghana to maximize its market presence in the West African sub-region. According to the company, the United Kingdom's decision to exit the European Union presents huge challenges for its market share. Chairman of Blue Skies Group, Anthony Bile, made a request when the Minister of Trade and Industry, Alan Kyerematen, visited the company to familiarize himself with operations.
Following the United Kingdom's decision to exit the European Union, many businesses have been forced to pull out of the European market. This is because of fears of potential threat to their operations, as most companies will no longer enjoy benefits offered by the Union, especially those trading in the UK. This has resulted in many calls for the government of Ghana to review its economic partnership with the EU or offer some incentives to Ghanaian companies that may be affected by Brexit. One of the companies likely to be affected is the Blue Skies Group, a food processing company. On a tour of the company by the Minister for Trade and Industry, Chairman of the group, Anthony Bile, appealed for government support in order to reduce the impact of Brexit.
We need to have a clear view of the future. At the moment, in 83 days' time, it is possible that we will see the United Kingdom fall off a cliff, as they like to call it. Basically, that means no longer enjoying the rules and regulations, the opportunities and systems of the European Union. You know, things like aircraft which fly over Europe with a British Airways flag on the back technically won't be allowed. So we need to sort this out. Now, one of the discussions that I'm having very helpfully with the Honourable Minister for Trade and Industry is about getting a rollover for the EPA, that's the European Partnership Agreement, because we desperately need that to be in place by 83 days' time.
Minister for Trade and Industry Alan Kyerematen pledged government's readiness to engage local businesses to foster growth.
I find that this is a perfect example of how we can exploit global value chains particularly within our sub-region. You've seen a truckload of pineapple coming from Benin, and from other countries, from Senegal. It means that apart from what the company is sourcing locally, they are also bringing in fruits from all over West Africa. Now, when we talk about the Continental Free Trade Area, this is a manifestation of what we can do on the continent if we work together and create a single market. Beyond that also, it is export oriented. So it is helping us to be able to earn scarce foreign exchange.
The visit by the Minister for Trade is to enable him have first-hand information about the largest fruit processing company in the country. Ebenezer Sabutis reports for Joy Business.
In other news tonight, members of the Ghana Liquefied Petroleum Gas Operators Association say they are boycotting pilot implementation of the cylinder recirculation policy. They say government has failed to involve them in consultation ahead of the implementation. The association cites potential job losses, among other reasons for its stance, insisting safety mechanisms should rather be improved. Nana Yaujima has more in this report.
In Ashanti region, the National Petroleum Authority is assessing gas stations at Obuasi to select one as service point. The association says the authority has approached members to allow them use their facility for the pilot after ignoring them in consultation. LPG retailer in Obuasi, Ajeman Opombedu of Ajeman Gas, questioned the decision to involve them in the implementation.
Because they've not sat down with me and explained anything to me. How I'm going to fill the cylinders, how the whole system, I don't understand it. And they've never sat down with me. I only saw the MPA boss at my station with so many people, as I said earlier. And later on, they told me that there will be another group. The group who came around were researchers from NPA.
NPA says about 4,500 jobs will be created in the distribution chain, but dealers insist it is inadequate. A dealer, Joyce Asari, indicates 8,000 people are already employed in the sector. She says, we have invested a lot of money in our businesses. If they want us out, they should compensate us so our workers can go home with something. Collins Osei-Tutu is a member of the association. He argues streamlining the existing system, which is riddled with errors, is a more preferable option to introducing a new regime.
When the truck comes, they use the engine to power the shaft to offload the content of from the truck. And we came out with a solution that we are going to allow our members to use what we call the withdrawal pump. And that's what we have been using across. We are more conscious. We are more serious than NPA itself. CLM2 is not a solution to explosion.
Others argue recirculation would discourage many buyers in smaller units from using LPG at the expense of the environment. Another dealer, Ched Diabo of Glory Gas, suggests recirculation will disadvantage vehicles which run on LPG.
They come to our station holding 14.5 kg. Instead of buying the quantity, say 70 or 75 series, they buy just 5 series, 10 series. When quite from why they buy, I say the money with them is so small. In Sunyane, from Tempura's records, only one station was earmarked to be a low risk, which can sell to the taxis. So when this happens, say 40 cars or 30 cars go to just one station buying this LPG from the station, it will create a chaos over there.
From Kumasi for Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.
All right, so we want to say more on this story, and joining me on the phone lines from Kumasi is Nanaba Osei-Tutu Collins, Organizing Secretary of the Ghana LPG Operators Association. Good evening, sir, and thanks so much for your time. It's quite surprising your association is alleging that you have not been consulted in this whole process, because I recall several instances where the NPA had stated that they have been engaging the relevant stakeholders. Do you want separate engagements on the pilot process, or it just looks like you're having an entrenched position? Hello, Nanaba, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
All right, thanks once again for your time. I was saying earlier that it's quite surprising that your association is alleging that you have not been consulted in this whole process, because I recall several instances where the NPA had stated that they have been engaging the relevant stakeholders. Do you want a separate engagement, or it's just an entrenched position you have?
Thank you, my dear. It's not that we have not been engaging. We were part of the consultation committee. We were part of the consultation committee right from the beginning. But all our submission during this consultation was not taken, especially Tampuli always ignore our submission, knowing very well that what we the dealers are saying or what our submission is the best way to go, and we don't know whether he has interest in this particular policy. So whenever we make submission during the implementation committee, this guy boycott our submission. We therefore withdrew from the implementation committee that what we have been submitted to the committee, this guy Tampuli is not taking us for serious. So we withdrew.
Okay, so right. What are some of the suggestions you've made? One of the issues that you've had has to do with job losses, and we've had several assurances that there will be no job losses. So what is your fear?
My dear, the NPA has come out several times to inform or to tell Ghanaians that this particular policy will create more jobs. We have been asking him, where are these avenues that will create this job? They always come out to tell us that it will create jobs, but let him tell us the avenues that can create this job. We have the view that as we speak now, we have about 7,000 workers in our sector. Aside this, we have those who sell the cylinders these people are also going to be affected. So he himself telling us that this policy is going to create jobs, over 10,000 jobs. We are saying it's not true. It's a big lie.
What is your biggest problem with the cylinder recirculation module?
The cylinder recirculation model will not create the penetration they claim to be. It will rather collapse businesses, and it's going to affect a lot of people in the value chain. A lot of people are going to be laid off in the value chain. The CRM they are talking about, anywhere in the world does not have volumes. Nowhere in the world does CRM has volume. Only a few people can be afford to buy. So,
all right, quickly, how do we resolve this issue? If they call you, they take your opinion, will you be part of the process? All right, looks like we've lost him, and that was Nanaba Osei Collins, who is the organizing secretary of the Ghana LPG Operators Association. That's all for business for now. My name is Sandra Esinam Apeno. I'll be back after 8 p.m. with more business news.